Hey, hi, thanks for joining us. So let me share my screen. Okay, so today we'll be discussing what is Informatica Powercenter and why it is used and what are the different client tools that it is having and how we can use those client tools in order to perform our ETL stuff. ETL stand for extract, transform, load. Okay. So generally, Informatica is a company which will provide, which is having a different products like Informatica Powercenter, Informatica Data Quality, Informatica Master Data Management, and Informatica Intelligent Cloud Services. So there are plenty of other products also from Informatica, but out of all those, like Powercenter is one of the most popular tool in the market, okay, which is an ETL tool. So ETL is nothing but extract, transform, load, okay. So extracting is nothing but pulling something from connecting to something and pulling data from that specific system. Okay, I will explain extract, transform, and load. So this is the main functionality of Informatica Powercenter. It is an ETL tool which is used to use it for extracting the data, for connecting to any source systems and extracting the data from the source system and transforming the data according to the business requirement or according to our need and load the data into the target system. Okay, let me take paint. Okay, so what we'll do. So think that we have three different source systems. Okay. So think that we have a company which we opened in three different locations. One is in India, one is in UK, and one is in US. So the people in India, the company, the branch which we opened in India, they are maintaining all the data in flat files. Think that they are maintaining it in flat files. Okay. Okay, and think that the people in UK, they are maintaining all their data in some databases. So think that let's take Oracle database. Okay, and the people who are sitting in USA, they are maintaining their data in cloud like AWS or Azure, anything, any cloud services, cloud data warehouse. Okay, so generally. There is a there is a big data warehouse in US where the headquarters is located. Think that the headquarters is in USA. Okay, and this is our data warehouse. Okay, and it is in headquarters which is located in USA. So the thing is like we have three branches right across the globe, but the thing is like they are maintaining the data in different types. But end of the day, we need to pull all these records, all this data from India, UK, USA, and we need to load it into this data warehouse in order to perform some analysis. Like what type of analysis? Like think that the business, the CEO want to see the revenue, how much it is generated across all three regions. Okay, if he wants a report which will show the entire like the revenue of entire company, the whole company which is across the globe in three locations. If we want to see the revenue, he should be connecting to all the sources, right? Instead of connecting to India source system, India, UK source system, and USA source system, it is better to have the data on the headquarters location so that he can pull the data in a very quick way. right? So in order to pull, in order to connect to this source system and pull the data what we needed and load it into this target system, which is a data warehouse in our case, in our example, that's where Informatica come into picture. Okay, what Informatica will do? Informatica will connect to this India source system, pull the data and load into data warehouse. Pull the data from UK and load into the target system. Pull the data from USA and load it into the target system. This is already in US, but end of the day, everything will be maintained in data warehouse only. So data warehouse is nothing but a collection of data marts. Okay, data marts is nothing but categorized into a specific type of data. For example, all the financial data will be maintained in financial data mart. All the product data will be maintained in product data mart. All the sales data mart, all the sales data will be maintained in sales data mart. Something like that. Okay, so before loading into data warehouse, what actually they will do in in real time, there will be a mid layer, which is nothing but staging layer. Okay, which is a temporary layer. Temporary layer. What it will do, Informatica, before loading into data warehouse, most of the data warehouse will be following the same model. Okay, what they will do, Informatica will is a ETL tool which will connect to the source and load the data into staging. And again, Informatica is ETL tool which will connect to the source, which is sitting in UK, and load the data into staging. And again, it will connect to USA source system and load it into the staging area. After this, so Informatica is a it will come into picture like in the middle, right? What here, exactly here in the middle layer. It acts as a middleware application which will pull the data from multiple source systems, heterogeneous source system, which is nothing but different type of source systems. It will connect to this source system in India, in UK, and in USA and pull everything and loading into the staging area. Staging area is nothing but a temporary area. Okay. It will extract. It will do only extract. Okay. And load it into staging. Okay. Once you have entire data in staging, then again Informatica will come into picture here. And what it will do, it will connect to this staging area this time because the data is in staging area right now, right? So it will connect to this staging and load it into data warehouse. This is our target system. It can be data warehouse, it can be files, it can be again cloud, it can be anything. It depends upon your project or depends upon or depending upon your requirement. Okay. So again, Informatica will come into picture here. It will connect to sources staging area and it will load. I hope that is clear. Okay. Let me write it down. Informatica will come into picture in the first phase, come into picture in the second phase. So this is the general data model or data flow that most of the company will follow in their data warehousing projects. They will be getting the data. They will be connecting to the source system. They will be pulling the data or extracting the data from a source system and loading into the staging in the first phase. What is the second phase? They will be Informatica will be connecting to staging and then they perform business logics and then load it into data warehouse. One of the best example is like, see here, the currency of India is in rupees, right? The currency of UK will be as European dollars or some euros, okay? And what is the currency of USA? It's in US dollars, right? So every revenue or budget or forecast, all this financial data will be in their respective currencies, right? So when you pull all the data into staging also, each and every data of India will be in rupees. Each and every data will be of UK will be in euros. Each and every revenue, like financial data of US will be in US dollars. So, but end of the day, when the CEO, when the business wants to see the report, they don't want to see the report in multiple currencies, right? They want to see the report in one single currency. So in order to understand their business, how the company is doing. So that is the requirement. What is the first requirement? They will be asking Informatica developers in order to convert these different currencies into one currency so that they can run the reports. Okay, they will be asking convert into US dollars, because that is where the headquarters is located. Even the CEOs, even the business will be located in US, right? So they will be asking you to convert those different currencies into one single currency, so that the reporting teams, you can convert the data and load it into the data warehouse. Once you load this data warehouse, what generally will happen? Again, there is a downstream partners or reporting teams. Whoever are using your data, what you built, what you loaded into the target system, they are called as a data consumers, which are nothing but downstream partners or reporting teams. What they will do, they will directly, so they will directly connect to your data warehouse or target system. And they will develop their own reports, which will be shared with the business. Okay, I hope that is clear. Okay, this is reporting teams will come into picture here. Okay, so this is the general data flow. So when you are in the first phase, this is the first phase. Okay, think that this is the first phase of your work, and this is the second phase. So in the first phase, you always do only extract and load. That's it. You will not do anything. You will not apply any business logic. Remember that point. Okay, let me write it down here. Load. What you will be doing? You will be using Informatica, and you will be connecting to your source system, and then you will be loading into the staging. And in the second phase, you will again use Informatica Powercenter and connect to staging, and then you will apply business logic. Business logic is in the sense you will transform, you will modify the data according to the business needs. Okay, that's where transformations come into picture. E is extract, T is transform, L is load, right? That is what it is. So what is here? It will be extract. You will connect to the staging, extract, and you will be applying the transformation or modifying the data as per the business need, and load the data. That's it, into data warehouse. So here you will be performing all the in the second phase, you will be doing ETL, extract, transform, load. Okay. Here, when you're in the first phase, you just extract and load. That's it. You're not doing any, you will not be performing any extra transformations there. You will just connect to source system and you will be loading into the staging area. This is the general data flow of the entire data warehouse projects across the globe. Okay, I hope this is clear. If not, please drop a comment. I can explain you again. Okay, so let's move on to the, like we have seen the data flow, right? So let's the general data flow in data warehouse projects. So this is the same data model that will be used in most of the organization, and this is how you can relate things. Okay, so Informatica is a middleware application, which will be used as a ETL tool in order to connect to your source system and extract the data and transform the data according to the business and load the data into the target system. Okay, so let's move on to Informatica Powercenter. Okay. Before learning into Informatica Powercenter, we need to know what are the different products that different client tools that are part of Informatica Powercenter. So we have 4 client tools. One is Informatica Powercenter Repository Manager. And the second one is Informatica Repository Manager, Informatica Mapping Designer. And the third one is Informatica Workflow Manager. And the fourth one is Informatica Workflow Monitor. So these are the 4 client tools. So as a ETL developer, 70% or 65% you will be working on mapping designer, I can say, and you will be working like 10% on map workflow manager, and you will be working on make it 15. Okay, in real time you will be working on 10%, maybe 15%, and you will be working on repository manager like 5%. Okay, so we'll be seeing each and every tool. Don't worry about at this point of time. Mainly concentrate on these 3 tools. As a ETL developer, you need to know in order to develop your code, you must be familiar with these 3 components. Even you have to know this one, but it's not like very less amount of task you will be performing there. Okay, as a developer. So let me tell you. So these are the four client tools that are part of Powercenter. Okay, let me show you now. So Informatica. So I will open the first mapping designer and I will show you what are the different windows that it is having. Informatica mapping designer. Let me type like this, or map, or you can go to Informatica folder. Let me open like here itself. I just you can open from here, the green D icon, right? This is Powercenter designer. Open it. This is what it is. The first component which we are discussing, mapping designer, right? Mapping designer. So again, mapping designer is generally used to create mappings. Okay. Before that, let me connect to oh my bad. Failed to connect repository. Why? What's happening? All right. 2022. Okay. So I have connected to the mapping designer. See here. This is the general GUI. This is how the mapping designer looks. When you connect, this will be your repository, and it contains the number of folders or number of projects that are part of that specific repository, and you can open any of the folders. Now, don't worry about this one. Let me take a screenshot. I will explain what it is. Okay, what are the different windows that are part of mapping designer interface. Let me save it. Let me open a new one. Okay, let me paste it. Oh, it's too small. I hope it is at least visible to you guys. Yeah. Now, look at this one. Okay. So this part, uh, so this part is called navigator, and this part is called output status bar, and this part is called workspace, the gray area, and this part is called a menu bar. Okay. So mainly the navigator contains all the different type of folders. Okay. The navigator contain all different type of folders or projects that are part of that specific repository. Okay. And this the gray area where you will be working or where you will be developing all your code. Okay. This gray area. And this is output bar, output status bar, which will tell you whether once you create a mapping, it will tell you when you save it, it will tell you whether the mapping is valid or invalid. Okay. And this menu bar contains different type of menus, which will have different features and functionalities. And this is a shortcut bar, which will have a shortcuts to the transformations and all. Okay. I will show you each and everything. Don't worry at this point of time. Okay. Let me go back. Okay. So this is what it is. So only concentrate on these 5 icons now. Okay. This is source analyzer. See my arrow. Okay. This is source analyzer. This is target designer. This is transformation developer, maplet designer, mapping designer. Okay. These are the 5 important features or tabs that you will be working on. Okay, let me write it down here also. So mapping designer is used to create mappings. What are mappings? Mappings are nothing but a graphical representation of your data flow. Of your data flow. Okay. And generally mapping designer, what it mainly contains? It contains source analyzer, target. I'm very bad at spellings. Please bear with my spellings. Okay. Analyzer. Something like that. Okay. So target designer. I don't want to waste with correcting my spellings because I know I am very bad at it. And the third one is, what is the third one? Transformation developer. And the fourth one is maplet designer. And the fifth one is mapping designer. So these are the 5 important tabs that you will be working on, like 65%. Okay. Source analyzer is used to import source objects. Okay. This is used to import source objects. Target designer is used to import target objects. Objects in the sense tables, files, it can be anything. Okay. Whatever your source system contain, those are when you import into Informatica, those are called, those will be imported in the respective tabs. Source analyzer is used to import sources, target designer is used to import targets, and mapping designer is used to create mappings. Transformation developer, maplet designer are advanced concept, but make a note, I will cover these topics also. These are used to develop reusable code. Okay, which are, it means that if we design anything on these tabs on the transformation developer or maplet designer, we can use it in multiple mappings. Create once, use it multiple times. That's it. That is nothing but reusability purposes. Okay, that is the general overview. We'll see like in coming sessions how we can use each and every tab. Okay. Now let's move on to workflow manager. Workflow manager is used to create workflows. And also to create session tasks. And there are all other tasks as also. Let me other tasks also. There are plenty of other tasks also. Okay, let me go down here. Workflow manager is used to create workflow sessions, other tasks. Okay, now let's open workflow manager. What is a workflow manager? See here, there is a Powercenter workflow manager, right? The W. You can open from here or go to designer. See here, there is an icon, the same thing, workflow manager. Click on that icon. It will automatically opens and open the folder where you are currently working on. See, it automatically opened my development folder. Okay. So see here again, workflow manager is similar to mapping design only. See here, this is the navigator. This is the output status bar. We have the menu bar and we have some shortcuts as well. And we have the workspace. This white space is called a workspace now in workflow manager. Okay. I hope that is clear, and concentrate on these three icons: task developer, workload designer, workflow designer. So I will tell you what they are all about. Okay, let me define here. Okay, let me take the board notepad here. So workflow manager all again consists of three important tabs, which are task developer, and the second one are workload designer, and the third one is workflow designer. I see. So generally, most of the time, 60% you will be working on workflow designer. Workflow designer is used to create what we discussed here. Is used to create workflows, sessions, and other tasks as well. I'll show you how we will be creating these workflow sessions and what is a session, what is a task, what is a workflow, and everything. Okay. And don't worry about this task developer and workload designer. So these are also used to create a reusable code. You will be creating once and you will be using multiple times in across multiple workflows. Okay, just like this we discussed, right? Maplet design and transformation developer. These two are also used for reusability purposes. Okay, I hope that is clear. Let me write it down. Otherwise, reusability. Okay. Make it same thing. I will copy here also. It will be used for reusability purposes. Okay, I hope that is clear. So workflow designer is used to create workflows and create session and other tasks. The interface, the GUI feel is the same. It looks like just like mapping designer only. See, it contains navigator, it contains workspace, it contains output status bar, and then menu bar. Now coming back to the workflow monitor, this is where you will be. There is one more component, right? What is this? Is my note. Okay. So we discussed, this is one more component, workflow monitor. Whenever you create workflows and you will be running those workflows, right? You will be executing those workflows. So that can be monitored in workflow monitor. So this is used for monitoring purposes only. We will not be developing anything, but this is very important because it helps us to know whether the job got succeeded or failed. If the job got succeeded, that's fine. If the job got failed, then we will be looking into the session logs and all, right? There is a way that you can check for the logs and you can understand the logs and you can rectify the errors what we will be facing, and we'll be running the jobs again and make the job execution successful. Okay, so workflow monitor is used to monitor the execution of jobs. I hope that is clear. So coming to the last one, let me open that workflow monitor. How it looks. See here, you can open it from here, workflow monitor, or you can open it from any other client tool also. See, every client tool of Informatica, those 4 client tools contain all these 4 icons. You can open from anywhere. Click on that icon, it will open workflow monitor. See, it is not connected because we didn't run anything. I'll show you in tomorrow's session, like how we can run the workflow, how to create a simple mapping and run it and see the execution and monitor the execution on this workflow monitor. Okay, I hope that is clear. And let's move on to the last component, which is repository manager, which is very important in the in admin perspective. Okay, what is the last one? Repository manager. We need to know what are the different things that we can do, but it's very rarely we'll be using only for deploying purposes, creating folders, all the admin related stuff. Okay, repository manager. In some of the projects, you will not be having the access also for this repository manager. Okay, it is nothing but it contains data about metadata. Data about data. It contains metadata. Let me tell you. Repository manager contains metadata. Metadata is nothing but data about data. What does that mean? So you will be creating these mappings, right? You will be importing sources, you will be importing targets, you will be importing, creating mappings, you will be creating workflows, you will be creating worklets or something like that, right? You will be creating a lot of objects on Informatica. Everything is it's a data, right? It will tell you, like, if you create some mapping, you will be giving a name to that mapping, right? That is nothing but some information. So the repository, what we said, repository contains metadata. Metadata is nothing but data about data. So it contains data about the object that we will be creating on Informatica tools, on Informatica Designer or Workflow Manager. Okay, metadata is nothing but data about data. So which will be maintained in repository database. Okay, all this metadata will be maintained in repository database, but all the objects will be shown on the repository manager. See here, there is a R icon, right? Click on the repository manager. Now it will open and then it will show all the folders and what are the objects that are there in the repository manager. Okay. After that, there are small things that we can do. You can create a folder. You can create a folder for a new project or something like that, or you can you can deploy. You can create deploy groups. You can move the code from dev to test to prod, test to UAT to prod by using it by using a deployments, or by importing and exporting the the Informatica objects. Okay, import objects and export objects. We'll discuss how we can do this. Okay, so this is generally used for admin related stuff. Okay, what is this one? Not bad. Okay, so this is mainly used for admin related stuff, repository manager. So we have seen Informatica repository manager. We have seen Informatica mapping designer, Informatica workflow manager, Informatica workflow monitor. So I quickly tell you. So we'll be creating mappings in mapping designer. We'll be creating workflows in workflow manager, and we'll be monitoring in workflow monitors. We'll be monitoring the execution of the jobs in workflow monitor. Repository manager contains the metadata informations that we create in mapping designer, workflow manager, workflow monitor. Mainly because mainly those objects which we create. Okay, information about those objects. They are maintained in repository database. Okay. So these are the some key points before we start understanding how Powercenter works. Okay. And moving on, I will tell you like what we will be doing. There are like 3 basic steps that we follow for all our developments. Okay. These are the only 3 steps that we will be doing. Like as a ETL developer, we will be doing only these 3 steps. Other than that, we will not do any other stuff. Okay. So before performing the 3 steps, there is a prereq step. What is the prereq step? Import the source and target objects that are required for your developing your code. Okay, import source and target objects into Informatica. That is the prerequisite before you start any code development of your code. Okay, so that is a prerequisite. And the first step is like create a mapping. That is a once you finish the prerequisite, the first step will be create a mapping. And second step will be creating a workflow. Okay, inside once in the second step, there is a one more sub step is like create a session and link it to mapping. Sorry, link it to workflow. Link it to, sorry, it's my bad. Link it to mapping. Okay, I will show you everything. Don't get confused at this point of time. Okay, and the sub task will be create link it to link the session to workflow. How we can link, how to create session, how to workflow, how to create a workflow, how to create a mapping, everything I will show you to workflow. Okay, and the last step is like execute the workflow and monitor that workflow in the execute workflow and monitor the job. Okay, let me take this one. Okay, let me add it here. So these are the 3 steps as an Informatica ETL developer you will be doing all the time. 90% you will be performing only these 3-4 steps. Even the 15 years guy will be doing the same thing for developing the code. Even the fresher will be doing the same following the same 3 steps or 4 steps to develop the code. So the only difference is their experience. That's it. When it comes to the how we will be using the tool, it remains the same. Okay. So these are the 3 steps, and this is the one prerequisite step. We'll be discussing all these steps. Just keep in mind for now, but we'll be discussing each and everything in tomorrow's session. Okay. And let me write it down. In which tool we'll be performing these steps? Create a mapping will be performed in Mapping Designer, and creating a workflow and the second steps will be performed in Workflow Manager, and the last step will be performed in Workflow Monitor. Okay, so these are the tools where we'll be performing all these steps. Okay, let me just write it down. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. Okay, and the prerequisite step also will be configured, like can be done in Mapping Designer only. Okay, the prerequisite step where we will be doing, how we will be doing, I'll be showing everything. Don't worry at this point of time. So these are the basic things that you need to understand before you start the concept, before you start learning the concepts of Informatica Powercenter. I hope that is clear. If not, please comment. I will reply back whenever I get a chance to do that. Okay. I hope that is clear. Thank you so much, guys. Until then, take care.